perfect Sunday music. Welcome to Top Rope Spoilers for WrestleMania Backlash. I'm Steve with On the Ring Apron, my beautiful co-host stepping in here, Kia. Good to see you.
Hello.
Sorry for everyone that's had to wait with us. We have gone through some serious technical difficulties this morning. You know, everything works perfectly until it's actually time to go live, and then amazingly nothing works.
That's how it always works.
But a quick shout out to the theme song of WrestleMania Backlash, Sam Ryder with Tiny Riot. We actually ended up getting booted off our first attempt to do live because I guess we didn't get to our shout out quick enough. So hopefully this one's okay. But Sam, you know, thank you for giving us the go ahead to, you know, to show this off during our show, and you know, we're obviously thrilled we do this, you know, for all of them. You know, we like to make sure that we have our proper permissions in place and everything else, and make sure that the proper shout outs are given. So, you know, a great song. I really, you know, I like most of the theme songs. You know, I don't like that screaming stuff they put in NXT sometimes, but other than that, you know, we make it work. But
yeah, again, Sam Ryder, Tiny Riot. If you want to go look it up, it should be on Spotify, iTunes, and any form of music source.
Amazon Music is ours.
Yes, give him his credit when you do.
And also, you'll notice, for those of you who have never been with us before, you'll notice that we do have a couple of title belts with us here. This is the Cruiserweight Championship, the women's tag with her, because over the last couple of weeks we do have some new deserving champions.
We really do.
Kushida and Natalya and Tamina over on that end.
Exactly. They all are doing big things.
Absolutely.
Big things. So congratulations.
So we're thrilled for them to be able to, you know, represent the company, especially Tamina and Natalya. They have been the veterans. You've talked before about them being the bathroom break at one point. You know,
the women were taken for a joke, but at this point, over the last couple of years, at this point, they are no longer a joke. They keep bringing their A game, and I'm not just saying that for the women, but I'm also saying that for the men too. But I would like, as for a female, from a female's perspective, and any woman can tell you, this is over the last 5 or 6 years have been very empowering. Just like from the start of the Fourth Horsewoman all the way up till now.
Right. So, for those of you who, you know, do join us on a regular basis, of course, I have plate exchange, and we're going to make sure that those plates, they're in. We have them. So we're going to go ahead and have a show later this week, so be on the lookout for details for that. But let's get to business. We got WrestleMania Backlash coming up later tonight. Let's get to it.
I feel like it's interesting that they've labeled it WrestleMania Backlash. It's been 6 weeks, like you said, since WrestleMania.
It has. I mean, I can't believe it's been 6 weeks since we've already been to Tampa. I mean, I feel like we just got back.
It really does.
But giving everyone a new perspective at our new scoreboard. Hey, it's a new year. New season. For those of you who saw the final score, I ended up taking last year. Kind of pulled away from you that last weekend. 90-83, I believe, was the final. But you stayed with me most of the way, so you know I appreciate a good fight to it all.
What he's not telling you is I started strong, but congratulations to you because I'm going to whip you this year.
So, of course, with our standard rules, we always count WrestleMania as both the last of the previous season plus the first of the next season. So they kind of count double for us. So WrestleMania, of course, having come and gone, I'm up 8-6 entering it so far. So, you know, a slight lead for me to start things off. But, hey, a lot of year to go, and, you know, Backlash is where you get your chance to catch up.
Hoping.
So we'll see what happens. Let's move on to our first match of WrestleMania Backlash. Hopefully everyone's excited and ready to be a part of it. But we begin with, over on Monday Night Raw, a Lumberjack match, as decided on by Mr. Priest himself after winning a match against John Morrison. A Lumberjack match, basically, of what has turned into a very deep-seated rivalry, especially after WrestleMania, between Damien Priest and The Miz.
You have to understand, with these two, I love them. They're great. But we all know, and as much as I love The Miz, it's nothing against him, we know if he gets an opportunity, he will run. But at some point, he will also stay and fight. But we also know that I think Miz has been in a Lumberjack match before, correct?
Yeah, his last one was not one he's going to remember fondly.
That's exactly. So he'd probably want to show up, show out, do his thing, and actually remember this victory, because I feel like for him, he always ends up learning his lesson, and when it don't go well the first time, and he gets a second shot at it, it doesn't matter how far along down the line, I think he will, you know, do what he has to do. But now, Damien Priest is no slouch. He's come here from NXT to the main roster, and he's made a big splash. And it started with WrestleMania, a little bit before WrestleMania, and the Bad Bunny, you know, coming in, and now he's gone. And
I'm still 6 weeks later. I'm still stunned at how well Bad Bunny did. I mean,
like
he showed out. He has made it tough for the celebrities coming forward.
Everybody that has come forward before Bad Bunny, they've been great. But he showed up. He took it seriously. He trained. You could tell he did exceptional. John Morrison was able to trust him with certain moves, and you don't expect that from celebrities. But congrats to him. Again, Damien Priest is no slouch. Miz is a vet. He's been here. He is like
Go ahead and give him a shout out. The only two-time.
Grand Slam. Thank you for taking the words out of my mouth. And that's why he's the awesome one. Okay.
So, I mean, again, this rivalry coming through, so much because The Miz feels disrespected. He feels like, Damien Priest and especially Bad Bunny should have, really sided with him. He could have helped him get that start. This is very similar to Miz's run when he got Daniel Bryan down in NXT when he first got here.
Yeah.
And now it's seemingly like he's replaying that storyline again, but now with
a different
Bad
person.
Bunny and Damien Priest.
Yeah.
So now Bad Bunny, of course, is on his way, getting ready to start his tour. They're in your hometown on your birthday next year, so we may not be able to understand much of what he's saying, but we'll dance and everything else, I'm sure, anyway.
Yeah, we'll have a good time.
But Damien Priest, of course, undefeated since he's gotten here. So he has shown up and shown out and has, been extremely impressive on Monday Night Raw up to this point in what has been one of the B-Real storylines on Raw, but he's made it entertaining along the way. The Lumberjack match feel of, not allowing Miz to be able to run is going to make this where Miz is going to have to face him, and we'll see if that plays a difference. Let's get to our picks. You trail, so you go first.
Okay, so for me, I already told you I'm a big fan of both of the men, but you have to understand, I followed The Miz from, real world reality star, and people said that he could not do it. People literally, made fun of him, poked, said, reality TV, you're not going to be here a long time, you're not going to make it, you're not going to do your thing. Again, Miz being who he is, and I've watched him, like I said, from reality TV up to now, he is not going to let that stand. He has always proved himself, and as proving himself as being awesome, if you don't have faith in yourself, who's going to have faith in you? So
His fine wife, I hope.
His wife, his mom, his dad, they do. But also, you have to understand, your fans that watch you on reality TV, this has been his dream to be part of just wrestling. He has been shouting it from the rooftops and everything else. But for me, again, Damien Priest is no slouch. He's come from NXT. He's done his thing. He is just awesome. And it shows just by the caliber of his work ethic that he does on a day-to-day basis. And for both of these men, if I had my pick, and this is difficult because for me, I don't think it's been difficult over the last couple of years. You put two people in a match, I am very conflicted on who I believe will win this Lumberjack match. Now, Lumberjacks play a big part in it. You cannot run. You got heels, you got faces, so you got people helping both people.
Depends on which side of the ring you get thrown out on.
That's exactly it. So if you get thrown out on the wrong side, you might get beat up from the Lumberjacks and then still get thrown back in.
So don't get thrown out of the ring. Maybe land on the ring apron.
Yeah. So
shout out.
So with that being said, I'm wishing both men the best of luck. Again, I will not be here, but I do think I will be able to keep tabs on it. I am not going to turn my back on The Miz. The Miz will always and forever be my personal favorite. And it's like you said, I don't care who he's going up against. Even if I don't think that's going to be happening, I'm always going to pull for The Miz. The Miz is awesome. The Miz is great. He's put in the work. He's got that effort and everything else. My pick, hands down, Miz.
All right, so you think the undefeated run ends. I'm going the other end on this one. I am going to go with Damien Priest. You can look at me funny all you want. You knew damn well I was going with Priest. The Miz has done exactly what it is, and it's funny that you bring up, his ethic and shouting from the rooftops how he wanted to be part of wrestling. And I think that's why he may have wanted to be the person to work with Bad Bunny and with Damien Priest when they first got here, because Bad Bunny had the same dream. He wanted to be part of the wrestling world. He wanted to be a person who got that amazing time in wrestling in that WrestleMania moment, and Bad Bunny most definitely got it. That is what the talk of the town was, when they had their match at Mania. So, Miz has been a person that we've talked about it live on the show before. Company guy. What do you want? What do you need? Whatever it is, I'll go do it. You want me to win a title? Great. You want me to lose a title? Fine. You want me to go do a press conference in Pakistan? Fine. Whatever you need me to do today, I'm up, I'm ready, let's go do it. And he has been rewarded throughout his entire career, a 15-plus year career now, first ballot Hall of Famer. He's gonna be.
Most definitely.
And that's not something I think you could say when he first got here. But you having seen it, if you haven't seen his recent special that just came out, make sure you take the time to go watch it. He talks about him being disrespected in the locker room, or not being disrespected, but just not having that respect yet, and having to change in restrooms and having to change in coat closets because he felt like he didn't deserve to be in the changing rooms, in the dressing rooms with everyone else. He didn't feel like he had earned that yet. So it's a great story to go see. It really helps you identify with Mike more than just the Miz.
Yeah.
But with that, I believe they're pushing Priest hard here. I don't think this is the right time to give him that first loss quite yet. I am going to take Damien in this match.
Well, that's good for you. You take Damien. Nothing against Damien, but I'm going to take the Miz.
This is our first, actually our only non-title match of Backlash. So we move on to our second, and a chance possibly for a little bit of history here as we move into a match for the Smackdown Tag Team titles. The Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, defending their tag titles against the father-son duo of Rey and Dominik Mysterio. Now we say historic because no father-son combination has ever simultaneously held a tag team title in WWE history. So the Mysterios with a chance to do something that's never happened before.
Here's the thing. I started watching wrestling back in 2005 when Rey was wrestling. He was one of the main reasons why I started. So let's go ahead and go with that.
Remember Landon, this tall, little Velcro title belt?
Yes, I remember. But also, since we're talking about little people and doing little things, I remember he was in the crowd watching his dad for almost every match that there was. Him and his sister and their mother, his wife. And you have to think, this is it's come full circle. Dominik has actually come in, he's worked hard, he's followed in his dad's footsteps, he's done everything he's supposed to, he's taken on the role of saying, I'm going to be here, I'm going to follow in your footsteps, I'm going to create a name for myself, but I'm also going to make sure that our name stays to what it is on a higher platform. Now, going to the Dirty Dogs, I'm loving the name, I'm loving the logos, I'm loving the looks, I'm just loving everything about this group, and I feel that name suits both of them. But for me, I also have been the one that says, I'm all about heart, I'm all about passion, I'm all about drive, and the Mysterio family has that. There has not been one match since Dominik has started that I have not seen that full throttle, son, dad, family, everybody's come in and they've done their thing.
Well, you saw Dominik completely show out in his debut match at SummerSlam
Who does
last
that?
year. Nobody gets a match like that, especially against Seth Rollins. And he put out. He didn't win the match. That was not the point. The point is Dominik has come in and has shown that he's not going to be a person who's just going to live off his last name.
That's right.
Because a lot of people give other folks who have done that. Natalya caught flack in the early part of her career. Charlotte still catches flack
now.
Right, she still catches flack today for the fact that she uses her last name.
That's insane.
He is a person that, whether it's based on storyline, but I can tell you, his last name I'm sure helps, helped out. Because think about it, he didn't have to run through NXT. He didn't have to run through the minor leagues. He trained with his dad, and then he got to go right to Monday Night Raw and now SmackDown.
But, like you said, he didn't run through NXT, and he was trained, and he did work. And it showed when his first debut match against Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins don't take matches just against anyone. So there had to be something real special about Dominik that made Seth say, that's fine.
Well, Seth is a person that can make anybody look great, and it's amazing because the fact that it transitions right into this, because you've got another person here in Dolph Ziggler who can make anybody look like they are 10 times better than they are because of the work ethic he puts in. Another person very similar to The Miz that is a company guy. He does what he needs to do, that's win or lose, and he makes every person he's in the ring with look fantastic while they're doing it. Because, you see him. He takes a drop kick and he looks like he got hit by a truck.
Him and The Miz both.
Yeah, they're both fantastic at being able to sell and make their opponents look great.
Phenomenal.
You look at so many matches of so many other wrestlers, and it's amazing how many times it was Miz or Dolph Ziggler that was on the other side when that moment happened.
Oh my God, yes.
These two, the ring presence and the ring veteranship that they bring, and they've been able to establish themselves as a very well-oiled tag team. Mm-hmm. The reality is, though, you don't beat family. As much as these two have gelled and everything else, the fact is these two have known each other since the day he showed up in the world. Not just in WWE, but on this planet. Rey has been attached to Dominik.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to be able to go with family. The only question mark you have in all of this is the possible inexperience of Dominik, because he's still under a year, taking on 3 very well-established, very successful wrestlers, all of them former world champions, that know what they're doing out here. Dominik is the wild card. He shows out, they've got a very good chance of winning this, but if his inexperience plays out, these two are absolutely two who can play into it. We move into our we move into our picks, but go ahead real quick.
You're right, and since you brought that up and saying that, I feel like, because I'm going to get to that comment in a minute, I feel like with these four right here, I feel like this is going to be the match that takes the night, even if, you know, somebody say, I don't know. I feel like this could probably be the match that takes the night, and I hate to say that for the other matches that are to follow.
There's some other good matches on this card.
But let's go ahead and get into our picks. I already went, so now it's your turn.
Correct.
Who are you pulling for?
You know, I like the Mysterios. You know, I really do like, you know, what they bring to the table. I like what they've got here. You know, and I love the idea of that historic moment of, you know, the father-son combination being able to, you know, be the first ones ever, because you've had father-sons and, as of recently, father-daughter with Natalya winning the women's tag of, you know, father and son being able to win, but not at the same time. It's obviously been different generations. This is rare what you see here. It's a father and a son both here at the same time and both actively wrestling. You might have one that might be a legend and the other one's a wrestler, but never at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and also with Rey Mysterio's window of, you know, he's very well aware his career is on the back nine, probably closer to the 16th or 17th. He needs to be able to have these great moments with his son while he can, because he knows his wrestling career's not going to last much longer, at least not as long as I think he hopes. They're up against these two veterans. I do believe this is a match where Dominik is going to show out. He's going to show what he's capable of, but at some point he's going to slip. He's going to make one mistake, and that one mistake will be the difference. I like the Dirty Dogs to retain.
Okay, that's great. He said Dirty Dogs, nothing against them, but here's my thing. This father and son tag team, not just in wrestling, but in life just in general, has been a strong connection that you cannot break. They're family. Two, Dominik, you can tell, is clearly, literally taking what he's being taught and he's soaking it up like a sponge. Ray over here is teaching him everything. The ins, the outs, the rights, the wrongs, the ups and downs, what to do, what not to do. That's perfect when you have a father that's been doing this for a long time. So in my opinion, nothing against the Dirty Dogs, but for me, and it probably will hurt me, but I'm okay with it. But we've seen much more surprises. I feel like Dominik and Ray are going to show up. I don't think
this is that moment for them.
I feel like for me, it's that moment. They are going to prove what they're worth. I mean, they are already proving it just being here and being together and having that connection.
And don't let my pick lead you to believe that, you know, if the Mysterios win, that I'm going to be upset. I'm not going to be by any stretch of the definition. You know, I like them winning it. I just don't think they win it tonight. That's just my thoughts.
But that's
you're taking the Mysterios.
I'm taking the Mysterios. It's not just an emotional thing at this point, because I know when they first started, it was the heartstrings and it was emotional. At this point, I think they're going to show up, show out. They're going to look good doing it, and they're going to take those titles from the Dirty Dogs. I'm just saying. Feel how you want to feel. Dolph, Roode. I'm not going to change my opinion. Good luck, Dominik. Good luck, Ray.
Well, one of our followers getting ready to do a meet and greet with Bianca Belair here in a few minutes. You know, so
yeah, 50,
you know, we're gonna be talking to her here in just a
talk
just a little bit ourselves. But you know, as we talk about her championship match that's coming up at you know, 50 Shades.
The Bianca, yeah.
Enjoy your meet and greet. She's a wonderful person. We met her just before Mania. You're gonna have a blast. But let's move on to our next one. And speaking of women's matches, that's actually where we're heading next. We move back to Monday Night Raw for the triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship. The new champion from WrestleMania, the NXT call-up, Rhea Ripley, defending her newly won Raw Women's Championship against both Asuka, the former champion, and the 13-time Women's Champion in Charlotte Flair. Who, you know, say what it is. She used her name as well as her, you know, everything she's accomplished to put herself into this match. It is what it is. Triple threat. We know Rhea and Charlotte have a history of triple threats. How does this play out?
Here's my thing. Charlotte went away and came back like a house on fire. When I tell you, this queen took that much deserved time, because you have to think, she has been, and we talk about company guys, we talk about Miz, we talk about Dolph, we talk about Ray, but let's go ahead and talk about company women. Charlotte, let's go ahead and take her last name out of play. She's not to me. I don't think the last name, it's great, it's everything, but Charlotte keeps stepping away from her name and saying, my skill set and my abilities, and it's not just my last name and my looks, can do a lot for me. I would like people to stop looking at the fact that I'm a Flair and look at the ability, not just a woman, but that I can go out there. on a nightly basis, and she's gone to different brands, and she has shown up, and she has shown out, and she has pulled out every single heel move when she's heel, face move. When I tell you this queen came back, she came back with a vengeance, and the way she came back, I said I'm a little bit blowed, but I want to see heel Charlotte. I'm about the heels for some reason.
Well, this is also a storyline where, you also look at the other two people that are in it. You have Rhea Ripley, the champion, and yet it's weird because she's the one that no one's talking about. The champion should be the one that everyone is speaking about, with her upset win over Asuka and still being undefeated since she's entered Monday Night Raw, and yet everybody just wants to talk about Charlotte and Asuka and the two of them going back and forth, and yet it's Rhea that's sitting there holding the gold at the moment.
Here's my thing. I wasn't finished because for me, knowing that the women are who they are, Rhea, she calls herself the Nightmare, and she clearly is keep proving it and proving it and proving it. Rhea has shown up from NXT, and she has come in, and she has leveled the playing field. And yes, she's gotten, hurt here and there, but I love Rhea. I truly love Rhea and everything. Her look, because here's the thing, she hated the comparisons, and I don't know how that feels to be compared. She hated the comparisons to Charlotte. But this dominating, this fierce, this brutality that she has, this look fits her. It fits her so well, and I love it. So congratulations if we didn't congratulate you when you won the title.
We were there live. We saw it.
We sure were. Asuka, I love her. I also know that she's held this title for a long, long time.
She carried the Raw Women's Division for almost the entire year during this pandemic and during Becky Lynch's absence and everything else. She was the one that when Becky, went on maternity leave, she was the one that took on that took on that role of being the champion, and really was the face of the Raw Women's Division for nearly the entire year. A little bit of break in storyline with Sasha and with Bayley, a little bit of time with Alexa, but for the most part, she was the one constant the entire year. I believe it was a worthy person that she dropped the title to, and the right moment to do so as well. But she is absolutely, as you said already, showed up and showed out of exactly what Asuka is capable of, and for the most part during the entire year, no one was ready for Asuka.
But here's the thing. This is not the first time Asuka has held a title for a long period of time. She did it with the women's NXT title too. So it proves that they trust her to hold these brand titles, these major titles, for a long extended period of time. Now these women, I love it, female empowerment. I have nothing against all three. That's why it's going to be so conflicting to say, who do I want to win?
And how ironic you say that, because we do need to make a pick. So you're up first on this one, so who do you pick? Remember, triple threat, no champion's advantage.
I really, really love Asuka, and I really, really love Charlotte, but I feel like Rhea, she had her moment taken away from her, not this past year, but the year before that, when Charlotte came in and they had this rivalry, and Charlotte took the title off her. So my pick is saying Rhea will retain the women's title, and as it should be.
Okay, so and I can definitely see why that is. I really do believe that no one is giving Asuka a fair chance to be able to win this match, and it's shameful because of the fact that, like we've already pointed out, she is the person that has held this division together for the last year. But you look at the two people that are in the ring against them, and of course, dating all the way back to their match at WrestleMania 36 when Charlotte took the NXT Women's Championship off of Rhea, and now here we are again, just over a year later. Rhea's champion again, and once again, who's standing in her path? It's Charlotte. Every time she turns, Charlotte's standing right there. Now you add Asuka into the mix, and the fantastic match they had at WrestleMania definitely went under the radar as one of the better matches of the night. But you look at everything, and you look at Rhea. They brought her in. She looks dominant. She looks absolutely, she's cocky along the way too, which is exactly that Australian, type of attitude. You see her doing this. For those of you who don't know, this is a slur. Be careful where you do that. But, it's very empowering to see exactly what she's come in and done as a different brand of woman. She is absolutely not the blonde bombshell. She is absolutely not the brute muscle. She is a little bit of both, also with her own distinct attitude.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what? I do like, Rhea as champion. That's why, and you can hear the boos coming in.
Boo!
That's why this triple threat mentality and her having too many people to look, the person who is best set to swoop in this particular instance is someone who's done it 13 times already.
Yeah.
She knows how to win these situations, and she's beaten both of these people on the grandest stage of them all. She knows how to beat Asuka. She ended her undefeated streak. She knows how to beat Rhea. She took the NXT Women's title. And what a great storyline to have this bitter, angry Rhea, who is already playing the heel role very well.
Oh, yes.
You're bringing in Charlotte because you don't want people to instantly start souring on her.
Yeah.
But the reality is, there's no greater push that you can give to Rhea than saying, for the second time in a year, it's Charlotte that's taken everything away from her. This is the moment it needs to happen. You maybe even have Charlotte take the title from Asuka, where that way Rhea's not involved in the decision. But I think we're going to go 14 time here.
Okay.
Charlotte's winning the Raw Women's title tonight.
Oh, all right. So since we're talking about Charlotte and winning, I know that I have a lot of off conversations with different people, and one of the people I was talking to is Charles Landon, and we were talking about how, like, she's come back, and Flair has come back in this new wardrobe and this new gear. We were talking
Love
about
that
it,
gear.
and we were talking about it, and I'm a big Disney head. I love Disney. Why not use the Queen of Mean theme a little bit as a mashup into your song? Like, have your song play out and then just kind of flip it up a little bit. I mean, you got, like, this dark, devious woman coming back with a vengeance. It's just, you know, Disney.
WWE, I feel like, can afford to buy a lot of things, but Disney might be one person they might be a little outmatched with.
I
We'll
don't know.
see.
We talking Vince here, so I don't know.
Let's keep it moving because we got lots of other matches to get there because we're only at the halfway point.
Yep.
We're staying in the women's division, but moving to the other side. The Smackdown Women's Championship. Finally, she's our champ. The EST, the best, the fastest, the strongest.
The quickest, the toughest, the most beautifulest. You know, that's a word.
I'll take it tonight. The new champion, Bianca Belair, defending her Smackdown Women's Championship for the first time. Show off those plates.
Boom.
Boom.
That was done. Yeah, we did. Well,
That's
I
right.
didn't. You did.
Bianca defending her championship, her first title defense against the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion of all time, Bayley.
Again.
The role model, the GOAT, as she likes to call herself.
Let me go on the record, because now that we're talking about this, congratulations to Bianca.
What a render, by the way.
Both.
Look at this. They're both stunning out there.
Like, literally. Let me
This
go.
purple just popping. I love it.
Yeah, let me go on the record. I am blowed, and when I say I'm blowed, that means I'm angry or I'm upset. I'm in my feelings. Bayley, again, has carried the women's SmackDown brand throughout almost all of last year with the assist of Sasha.
How many days? 380 days as SmackDown Women's Champion. It's almost weird to not see her with it.
I feel everything that she did at Mania was funny, was hilarious. She's Bayley. She's going to do what she's going to want to do. She's her own person. To have the Bellas come back, and it's nothing against the Bellas. It's nothing against Think of Your Breed. But I feel like Bayley was disrespected. I feel like Bayley was kind of like the joke of it all. For someone who's been here through the pandemic and who's held this title and who has, for some people have brought prestige to it. So I feel it's kind of disrespected in that regard. So to Bayley, I'm sorry that they did you that way. I feel like they did you dirty. I just do.
Moving into staying to the match that we're actually talking about here, I mean, what a run by Bianca. She has absolutely shown up, shown out, and, has proven exactly what everyone expected her to be. And a lot of people, us included, felt so hurt every single time she'd get a shot at the title down in NXT and then would fall just short. She lost to Shayna on a number of occasions. She lost to Rhea in her one opportunity to face off. She never got that NXT Women's Championship. And yet, we were jumping around our living room when Bianca shocked the world from number 3 and won the Royal Rumble and got her opportunity to be able to do so. And yes,
Who
go
called it?
ahead. She wants to inflate her head. She'll never get out of the ring. But yes, Bianca. Yes, you called Bianca winning the Royal Rumble and taking it even at number 3. She took it all the way.
We saw what she did in the first Rumble. That's why she was my pick. Anyway.
And then absolutely the match of the weekend. Everyone's still talking about it 6 weeks later. Bianca and Sasha. First of all, the fashion sense was just insane. I love Sasha's shout out to both Naomi and to Alicia Fox.
Yes.
The black empowerment. Knowing also who she's in the ring against. And both of them absolutely put on the show of the week, the match of the weekend. It was wonderful to be able to see. With Bianca getting that great moment, her family sitting in the front row, Montez coming out later on.
Yeah.
An absolutely well-deserved champion. how many people get trusted in their first year to come in and win a major championship? And yet, we have 2 champions right now who are getting that distinct honor.
Yes.
Granted, Rhea got to see the WrestleMania stage once already, not maybe in the format that she thought you would have it.
That's
but
true.
what a great moment for Bianca to get that in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yes.
But you now look across the ring at who she's against, and
Ooh.
that's absolutely no slouch. Bayley has absolutely staked her flag in the ground as being that best.
Technical difficulties, hold on.
I'll keep talking. Our
Yeah.
light just fell over. This is what happens when you do live sometimes, is, everything goes over. I could see the look on her face saying something was about to happen. Surprisingly, the lighting's okay without it, but we'll make it work. So anyway, we'll go ahead and keep talking here because I'll get through my point here. Bayley, a champion for 380 days, absolutely no slouch herself, so we end up needing to, acknowledge the fact that she is absolutely a worthy champion and wants the title back that she feels like was disrespectfully taken from her.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this ends up panning out. Let's move into our picks. I believe I'm up first, right?
Yes, you are. Go
So
ahead.
that means I need to talk some
Yeah.
more,
Yeah,
apparently.
you're good.
Sorry, anybody who hates my voice. Sorry, you're going to have to listen to me drone a little longer here. But I will keep it quick, though. You don't give Bianca that moment at WrestleMania and have her drop her first defense. You simply don't do it. My thought process, because a lot of people were wondering, why is Bayley getting this match so early? This is a SummerSlam type of match. This is a Survivor Series kind of match that you could have set up. And honestly, it's you bring up Survivor Series because I think that's honestly where this is heading. You got the Superstar shakeup coming up between now and Money in the Bank, and I feel like this is the perfect time to transition Bayley back over to Raw. I think Raw needs help in that women's division. They really are struggling because the women's division on SmackDown is just fine.
Oh yeah,
You don't need to touch a thing there. I think you can afford to move Bayley over and try to strengthen your women's division. That's why she's getting her shot now, but she won't win it. I like Bianca retaining.
Oh, yes.
You give your pick. I'll adjust this light.
Okay, so for me,
I can tell it's driving you crazy.
I love both women. Again, empowerment across the board. Bianca came in, she did her thing. She literally is proven why she should be champ, be young. And Bayley, again, no slouch at all. Carried the women's title. I feel like Bianca and Bayley are going to do, like, big things in this match. My pick, honestly, I'm not pulling against my girl Bianca. I'm not. There is no way. I pulled for her at the Rumble. I was pulling for her at Mania. I'm pulling for her to retain WrestleMania Backlash. Boom. There you go. Nothing against
Is
Bayley.
this the first one we picked the same? I think it is.
I think so.
Yeah, because we took opposites in the women's and we both went opposites. So yeah, we both
she-
taken Bianca.
But she about to retain. We know she gonna do her thing, and she gonna be looking cute too. Because give her a shout out. She has her own channel with Montez where she makes her outfits, and she makes it look so easy.
She really does.
She really does.
So we both like Bianca retaining.
Oh yes,
here.
most definitely.
And again, the renders are fantastic. Please, whoever's doing these, please keep that up.
Yes.
All right, on to our final 2 co-main event. We'll see if we can keep the lights standing this time. Again, you do things live, things like that tend to happen. I think it's time to finally buy that sandbag.
Yep.
Moving into what is our co-main event, we move back to Monday Night Raw, and it is for the WWE Championship. Triple threat match between some guys that have long been beating the snot out of each other for several months now. The champion, Bobby Lashley, the almighty Bobby Lashley, defending against Braun Strowman and the former champ, Drew McIntyre.
Here's the thing with these gentlemen, and I call them gentlemen because that's exactly what they are. 3 powerhouses. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. 3 powerhouses in this business that will not be taken lightly, that will not sit down, that will not shut up, and they come out and they do their thing each and every week. Drew carried Raw for the whole entire pandemic. Congrats to him. Bobby Lashley, well overdue. I feel like he is deserving. I feel like for all the time that he's put in, he's gone away, he's come back, and he's showing he can work with different people. He was able to work with Leo Rush, who is no longer here. He's able to work with MVP. He's able to work with, Cedric Alexander, because I always want to keep calling him entertainer, and he was able to work with Shelton Benjamin. But you also see that he's no slouch. He's not backing down, and he will take on anyone. And that's a good champion in my opinion. But let's not forget Braun. He's come in, he's stormed in, and he has, put hands on what he feels is going to be his, and he's in this match, and he's going to. I don't consider that my pick, but I know between the three men, it's gonna be a hell of a match. Just saying.
You look at Bobby Lashley as champion, and a lot of people were very, very happy, us included, that Bobby got the title put on him because he has been long deserving of getting that world title run. He got that small run as ECW champion in what was a very poorly done reboot of ECW going back, over a decade ago. But to have him now as the face of your company, to have him as the face of the WWE Championship, it stands for something. And the reality is, yes, he's doing it as a heel, with MVP at his side, but MVP is not actively going out of his way to make sure that through heel maneuvers that Bobby wins. He's winning matches cleanly. He's winning matches through dominance, which is exactly what he stands for. He is determined that he is going to be the most ruthless champion that WWE has had in quite some time. These are honestly two of the top challengers that Monday Night Raw has. This is another match where I do feel like the superstar shakeup that's coming up, this is why this match is happening so soon or so early, is because I have a feeling that one or maybe two of people in this match might be getting moved, during the shakeup, which is why this match needs to happen so soon. For Drew, this is his third shot at Bobby Lashley. This is his third attempt to try to get back at it. And I've historically said on here that very few people get three opportunities, and if they don't win it on their third try, they probably move to the back of the line at that point. And you're absolutely right. Drew has done exactly what the company's asked him to do, similar to what Asuka did with the women's division.
That's exactly
Drew
it.
is the one who showed off a personality during this pandemic that I didn't think a lot of people knew Drew had. He was out there. He was jolly. He was, talking into that camera. I really think the pandemic fit well for him. And he performed it so well in a time in which some people were not able to really be successful in that empty arena feel, and then having, just the Thunderdome with video screens. It's not so simple to some, but Drew made it look easy.
But when you looked at the pandemic and you looked at the different people on the different brands, who came to mind for saying, wow, they've really picked it up, they've really stepped up their game? Drew came in and he talked to the camera, he talked to the people in the ring, he talked to the people all around the world. It didn't matter. And for me, Drew is just, he charmed you right into that TV to say, I ain't leaving
Usually
here.
right from minute one. He always was the first song you heard starting the night.
And then it may be the last opinion. He did have several segments throughout the night, but it is what it is. Again, Braun come in. He's not gonna sit there. He's not gonna let any of this slide.
And Braun earned his way into this match. It's
really
not like,
did.
Very similar. We talked about Charlotte, using her name and her accomplishments. Braun went in and beat the former WWE champion, Drew McIntyre, 1, 2, 3, clean in the middle of the ring to earn himself a way into this match. Whether Bobby and MVP feel it's fair or not is irrelevant. The fact is, Braun earned his way in. These are three guys, all former world champions. Braun's the only person who hasn't held this WWE title before, So, is it finally time to have the monster be the face of WWE, or do you keep it on the current one or the former one? This could go a lot of different ways, and honestly, in my opinion, this is the hardest of all the matches at WrestleMania Backlash that I had a hard time picking. Let's move to our picks. You're up first on this one.
For me, I like all three. I really do. I love Drew a little bit more, but he's had this title. He's carried it through the pandemic, and he's done so effortlessly, and he's charmed you literally into staying around and watching his segments. Braun has come in, and again, we don't know where he went for a little bit of time that he was gone. I don't know if it was injury. I don't know if he needed time off, but he's come back, and he, like you said, beat Drew cleanly, and is not taking it lightly. He's not sitting down. He's not going nowhere. Lashley, more than deserving. And it took me a minute to actually get behind that, but now that I had time to think about it, he is deserving for everything that he has done for this company over, the last 16, 17 years? Am I correct?
It's his 17th year now.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure my stats were right with you. I feel like, in my opinion,
Stat King.
Yeah, my opinion, I don't see this title coming off of Lashley. I believe he retains, and in saying that, I hope he retains because he deserves it, and you got MVP backing you. And again, MVP is like Paul Heyman. They do what they need to, but they do not overstep their power and their limit and their authority when it comes to who they work with.
Well, he would never disrespect his WWE champion.
That's right.
By coming in here and interfering with him. He is going to do the business side of things.
That's
exactly what the Hurt Business is all about. He handles stuff inside the ring. MVP handles the stuff outside.
There you go.
Very similar to Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns. So you look at this type of match here, and again, as I said earlier, I really do feel like this match is happening so soon because of Superstar Shakeup. As much as we said the women's division over on SmackDown is extremely strong right now, it's the polar opposite for the men's division. The men's division on SmackDown desperately needs new challengers for Roman Reigns or Cesaro. Matt pick coming up here shortly. You really look at this, and I feel like someone like a Braun Strowman or a Drew McIntyre or a Bobby Lashley, if he loses, would do excellent being able to go over there and truly give Roman Reigns some new, fresh challengers, because for all intents and purposes, Roman's run the gambit in SmackDown right now. Cesaro kind of the last one standing for him. So I really do feel like this match is being done because of the shakeup. But I am going to agree with you. I do feel like you've got your guy right now as your champion. He's representing the company well, and he's doing it in his dominant fashion. I like this one going this way. I do like this one playing out. I think Braun takes the pin.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you need to continue to keep Drew strong. Braun can take a pin, and he's going to be okay, and his status is not going to get hurt. But I do like Bobby retaining here as well. I do like Lashley staying champion.
So I'm going to go on the record. This brother won. I tell you, him and MVP can dress. They be feeling like they come in from church every day in these tux and this accessory.
And this is coming from a person who wears a blazer every day when she goes to work. My goodness, I posted the pictures. Go back and look at our Instagram. This woman was absolutely smoking for that first day at the new office. And Shoutout, I even talked about is WWE looking for a new GM role, and I know a couple of people commented saying they need to come in and hire you.
I hope so. Cross my fingers.
You're gonna look the part, damn it.
Oh yeah, I really am.
We'll worry about if you can do the job later, but you're gonna look the part every single time.
Oh, I'm gonna be able to do the job.
Is this a Rollins drip moment or something like that? Am I allowed to use that?
Rollins drip. Hashtag that so quick. Yeah, he be killing the suits too.
Moving to our last match of the night, what we believe will be the main event of WrestleMania Backlash. For those of you who've never joined us, know that we do put them in the order that we feel like they're going to go in. It may not necessarily go that way.
Yep.
But our main event, of course, for the Universal Championship over on SmackDown, the head of the table, the Tribal Chief, the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns, defending against a man getting his first ever one-on-one title shot, and a man that we on multiple occasions on this very show have said is long overdue to be world champion, Cesaro.
Here's my thing.
This is absolutely the one that people will be talking about at the end. It's gonna main event. I feel it in my bones. This is absolutely gonna be your last match tonight.
My thing with this match, I agree. For me, Roman. And I tell you, when I say I like faces and I love heels, but maybe because I have a little bit of crazy evilness running through my body or whatever.
I live with her, believe me, I know this.
Roman Reigns, and it took a minute because I got so used to him being a face, a quiet face when he was part of the Shield. I got used to him just being the brute strength, the dominance for the Shield, but being quiet. But the moment they separated, and it broke my heart, I feel like the person that's been getting the strongest push. I would say Roman, but all of the Shield members have had their moment. Roman now is continuing to live his moment. He's overcome so much, and we already know what that is with, his leukemia and having to go away for a little bit and coming back. He's proven that nothing and no one can beat him. So, congratulations.
Even cancer can't beat this man.
My thing is, I am loving this heel Roman. It has taken It's taken a little under a minute, but I love this heel Roman. I love what he stands for. I love the fact that he commands. No, not commands. He demands that respect for the head of the table, the tribal chief, whatever you decide you want to call him. He is not going to say, he ain't going to get no disrespect. Paul Heyman has been the perfect mouthpiece, and for the longest time we've said he's needed a heel role. And
he's played it well. One person I know, and whether you like him or not, people have their feelings about someone like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
They talk about Roman Reigns saying his role would be what Brock was if he showed up for work every day. Because he does show up every single day. And he plays the role magnificently.
And he looks good doing it.
Exactly. Because you talk about Heyman being a mouthpiece, but for the most part, Roman's doing his own talking. For the most part, it's, hand out, give me my mic. And Heyman's right there to make sure it gets handled, very similar to what MVP's doing with Lashley. Heyman is doing for Reigns, and he is playing the role magnificently and assembling his army around him.
That's right.
While doing so. He's got his cousin Jay, he's got Jimmy on the other side, but that in turn is the wild card. But, you know, we could talk for an hour on him, but let's look at the other side. A man who we have, again, multiple times on this show have said, how is this man not just a world champion, but a multiple-time world champion at this point?
My thing, you're definitely right. My thing, Cesaro. When he came in, I was sour to him already, but that's because I didn't give him that true opportunity. Once I saw what he was about and what he could do, and he showed me more than what he really was, I'm like, this guy is going to be the top of the top, the cream of the crop. My thing is, he's worked with everyone. He's done everything he's supposed to. He hasn't back talk, back mouth, back sass, anything that you would expect. He's come in. He's also a company guy. And we don't really, I tried not to really give that title to so many people. But when you have someone who is more than deserving, as Cesaro is, and you have not given him that push, there's something wrong with the writers and everybody that is not giving him that time and thinking about it. So maybe, just maybe, it is his time. But he's having to fight an uphill battle, which he has done effortlessly, literally.
Well, let's move into our last pick of the night. And I'm gonna state something because, as I said already, I am a stat guy. Mm-hmm. Anybody who knows me knows I love my statistics. I love, being able to keep track of numbers. Something that's very interesting that happened this morning, because Vegas does keep odds on all of this and keeps track of all the information. Throughout the entire week, Roman Reigns was, by most stats, a 3 or 4 to 1 favorite throughout most of the week, and even as high as a 5 to 1 favorite. This morning, Cesaro went from a 4 to 1 underdog to a 1.5 to 1 favorite to win this match. Has somebody heard something, or has somebody found out something that maybe reveals that maybe, just maybe, the turmoil of the family turns and ultimately costs Roman a title. A title he more than likely will win back. Or, we talked about, earlier, Lashley, Drew, Braun, one of them possibly going to Smackdown. What about Roman going to Raw? Roman Reigns brings viewers. Roman Reigns brings eyes to the business. You bring the Usos over there with them, whether they're, happy or not, whatever. The reality is, he puts eyes in front of TV sets.
You remember?
But you know what? This is a guy that, the wrestling fan, the person who just generally enjoys great wrestling. This is your guy. This is a guy that you can get behind because he's everything Vince loves by being big, strong, muscular, but he's also the consummate veteran. He is a person who takes care of the people he's working with,
most definitely.
And has been a person that has taken on any and every storyline with virtually no chance of a world title in sight, despite the fact that he gets promoted as, the pound for pound strongest person in the company, and he shows that on a regular basis.
These swings are, insane. I could not do that, so kudos.
This right here is absolutely going to be the match everyone talks about. On the last 2 SmackDowns, Cesaro has shown that he is capable of being able to use all this conflict between Jimmy and Jey Uso and Roman Reigns trying to reel the family back in. He has absolutely shown that he is capable of being able to overcome that by laying out Roman 2 weeks in a row.
Yes, I've seen.
And then you look at, Jey, who got laid out just 2 days ago, twice with back-to-back dominators. Or neutralizers, Dominators, Lashley. So neutralizers. We have to wonder, is Jey going to be possible? So ultimately, that's going to leave him with one man possibly in his corner, and that's Jimmy, who has already said he's nobody's bitch. I love that shirt, by the way.
By the way, I'm getting that shirt. You just don't know it yet.
Don't wear it to work. That's all you're going to say. But, you got to make a pick here, and, this is the one that hurts my heart because of the fact that for so long I've wanted to see Cesaro as world champion. Everybody knows this. I think the world wants to see it, and my heart will not break. You've got too much going on him right now. The only way you have this title drop off of him is if it's because of Jimmy Uso and maybe Jey deciding he's going to, going to walk away and forcing Roman to do it by himself. Cesaro takes advantage of the chaos. I don't think it happens. I think ultimately you're going to have Jimmy, whether on purpose or not, he is going to end up falling into line, just like Jey. The run's going to continue, and ultimately Roman is going to be more powerful than he's ever been as the continued tribal chief and head of the table. Roman retains.
I
Did I hear the Bayley laugh there?
So, my opinion, exact opposite. Jimmy, I'm glad to have you back. Nobody screamed louder than this girl in this house right here. I even let Facebook know. I am so glad. Please keep it up. Please keep up the recovery and everything that you're doing. But here's my thing. I'm on the exact opposite end of that spectrum. Just going to go ahead and tell you now. Before you told me the Vegas odds, before I saw what I saw, he's been here. Cesaro's been doing his thing, swing after swing, pound after pound, taking on anybody and everybody that gets in his way. And the fact that they even left him standing ringside when Seth came out and tried to prove dominance from coming back from paternity leave.
Funny that you mentioned Seth. I didn't say a word about him.
He was standing there, and he's been the man to say, you're not going to do this, you're not this, you haven't changed. And then he goes from one former Shield member, brother, to another one. Okay, so I believe that chaos and that turmoil and the way things work, Jimmy's going to rock that shirt real hard, like I will be soon. Again, he don't know it yet. I do not think Roman retains. And I hear it, and I can feel the vibes. What the hell are you thinking? But it is my opinion as who I am. I feel like Cesaro is going to take advantage of that chaos. Just like KO happened to do when he was having to go against Roman. Cesaro has won. And he proves that he can win, and he will continue to do it. Jimmy coming back, not falling in line, Jay trying to straighten him out, Roman having to deal with that, Paul having to deal with that chaos. He will take advantage of that chaos. He will learn. He will look. He's been sitting to the side somewhere in his workouts, taking notes on every possibility that he feels like could happen with the Tribal Chiefs family. So in my opinion, my dude right here.
It's finally time.
I swear to you and everybody else, if this man don't get his title, I will riot. I will become the third member until Sarah Logan gets back to the Riot Squad, and I will riot for this dude right here. But Cesaro wins.
World title tonight.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, if Reigns loses and Cesaro walks out Universal Champion tonight, I'm not going to be upset. He is more than deserving. I've said it multiple times. I picked him to win the Royal Rumble, when it happened. It ended up not playing out that way. He's deserving. If he wins tonight, I'm not going to be sitting here upset. This is a great match. I'm happy no matter who walks out.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, that brings us to an end of our special for WrestleMania Backlash Top Rope Spoilers. Where'd we get them right? Where'd we get them wrong?
What do you want to see for tonight's matches? What do you think? Do you think they could have added a match? Do you think they could have switched it up a little bit? Tell us your thoughts. We want to hear your feedback. So get with us. Talk with us. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Our fans are absolutely why we continue to do this. Common misbelief, okay? We don't make a ton of money from this, okay? This is not our primary jobs. We both go to work, Monday through Friday, just like, a lot of other folks out there do. We do this because you guys want us to. We have fun, we enjoy it, we love doing things like this, we love wrestling, just like you guys, and we get so hyped behind it. Even standing right here, I'm like, we've still got like 6 more hours before, this is going to start, and I'm ready to begin right now.
I just wish, and here's my thing, I wish they would have added the whole Jimmy coming back and him and his brother going head to head and seeing how that plays out.
Head to head, I think is coming.
I feel like that's hanging in the balance, but boy, when I tell you, I'm so glad Jimmy is back. Jimmy is back. I'm not crazy, okay? You're crazy.
Just slightly.
But anyway,
take us on. We gotta roll.
So anyway, with that being said, I'm glad that y'all joined us tonight, this evening, this afternoon, wherever y'all are in the world. Thank you for supporting us. We love you. We could not do this without you. With that being said, y'all have a good night. Go watch Backlash for me because I will be at work until like 11:30. Thank you. Love you. Bye.